It's just before 4 a.m. on the West Coast, and we're following the breaking news out of Los Angeles, where police are breaking down barricades at UCLA, pulling apart plywood and other materials that Gaza war protesters used to build an encampment on campus. Moments ago, police detained multiple demonstrators after breaching the encampment. This comes as protests surrounding the war in Gaza have upended campus life across the country. This, by the way, happened only after hours of police attempting to disperse this encampment peacefully. They told through loudspeakers the protesters would be arrested if they did not disperse. They are doing this now because the protesters gave them no other choice. They would not leave. And in fact, the protesters threw things at law enforcement and screamed at them that they were not leaving and they are not afraid. Joining us now, NYPD's Chief of Patrol, John Chell. He's had his share of this across the country, in New York City, on the campus of Columbia and beyond.
Chief, thanks so much for being with us. Right now, based on the experiences that you and the NYPD have had over the past couple of days, what's the first thing administrators at UCLA should do?
Well, the first thing they should have done, not let it get to this point.
Right.
They should have stood tall like the NYU president did that one day, and she took care of it.
How? What? Not letting it...
She asked to come in right away and take care of it. And when we did that, they put up barriers, and we really haven't spoken about NYU since. It was a one day thing. Right, that was built. Here, what should happen is the president should have said, if you don't leave this campus at this point and you are a student, you will be expelled. If you are a faculty member or staff member, you will be fired.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, those kids would leave because they don't want their dorm material on the corner and have mom come pick them up the next day.
Right.
That would be first thing.
There's so many students that want to get into these colleges.
Right. I'm sure every college people miss by a percentage point. My kids miss schools by percentage points, and I'm sure they'd come in and sign a waiver and say, I'll come in and partake as a good student and relish this great school and not partake in this behavior if it occurred. I think that would happen.
I will not destroy property. Talk about, we've been reading about, and Jen talked about the student leader at Columbia saying, those are outsiders. We don't know. They're autonomous. Those weren't students that took over the building. Can you tell when you go in who the student is and who the outside agitator is?
From doing this a long time, just from my sight, yes, you can. When you're dressed in all black with a black scarf, I'm not sure if that's a chemistry student.
Do we know, like on the campus of Columbia, of the arrests that were made? I mean, have we been able to?
We're still filtering through the 282 that came from Columbia and City College, because that was going on the same night, too. So we were doing two at the same time. The last time we knew about Columbia, of the 108 we took off from me, 35 were outside people. And
there you go.
It's clear. There's three things going on. There's kids protesting on campus because they think they're protesting the right thing. Those are house rules. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Then you got students protesting who are crossing that line into hate speech.
Yeah.
You should be expelled. Then you have the outside agitators, outside, inside, radicalization, teaching them. The one woman, I'm not going to mention her name, was teaching them how to barricade themselves, how to take out the cameras in Hamilton Hall. All these tactics that we had to deal with. How do they get on campus, number one? Number two, what are they doing there? What is their overarching goal?
Right.
Is it that protest, or is it something bigger. Universally? And that's got to go beyond the NYPD.
That's what I'm worried about.
And the chief and I have been on the other sides of the barricades for a long time, but you know that we are about an issue. What is being lost here is what is the cost. The kids in Gaza are suffering while we're looking at agitators that have taken the focus off of what it's supposed to be. And I mean, many of us, I'm fighting right now, affirmative action, DEI, joining Kimberly Crenshaw tomorrow and Right to Learn about banning books. All of that's lost on guys that want to come in and violently disrupt. And I think one of the reasons that people like you and I have always had a mutual respect, even though we might have been on different sides of the barricade, is you knew we were there for a bigger cause, not us. And these people have made it only about them. Them graphics do nothing to help the people in Gaza. In fact, it hurts them.
This hurts everybody. What is property? You're throwing things at the cops. What does this have to do with the point?
Yeah.
the reps say he stands for things. He protests properly. He does it right, and then we respect that. We were on the same page. But this is our kids on college campuses. As a father, every time I stepped on Columbia, I'll tell you right now, every time I was up there, I'm a policeman, but my kids just left college. I'm like, this is broken. Because the way we raised our kids to a certain point, it's not this way.
So, Chief, it seems there's a common theme here, a universal theme in each of these campuses, and it has to do with the reluctance of the school's administrators to deal with this verbally, initially, right away, and they very rarely did it. So when I was up there at Columbia a couple of days ago, the police were outside, just lying there, waiting to be called upon. What was the negotiations like, if there were negotiations, between the police department and Columbia University's president and the office of the president?
So we were on the phone with them 2-3 times a day, trying to work through their process, but they're not equipped for this, and then they're trying to appease different arenas of their world.
And Chief, can we just say this? It's very easy to attack the president. If the president is Ben Sasse at Florida, who I think did the right thing, he's got professors and others that will support him in education. Let's just say, while I don't understand the images from Columbia or UCLA, you know this far better, and tell my fellow conservative friends, that president at Columbia was walking a tightrope because there are faculty members and the faculty senate that wanted to censure her, who were encouraging the illegal behavior.
Exactly. To your point, behind the scenes, can you imagine what she was up against?
Yeah.
Different people coming out. There's money involved, right?
Yeah.
The endowment money. There's a lot of things at stake here. So as they're going through their process, we'll just keep asking, what do you need from us on the outside? Are you good? Do you need this? And they finally put in writing what they wanted, not once, but twice. And she was clear and concise. And I'll give Columbia credit. On the day we went in, we just asked them, I asked them personally, just do me a favor, keep saying negotiating, keep downplaying it as we prepare, because we want to have a little surprise, a little element of surprise when we go in, to avoid any type of confrontations. And we did that flawlessly. Our cops, the plan worked. And the plan, when you think of the plan, we had a secure perimeter. We had 5 dorms with 2,000 kids in it that we did not want coming out into that campus and getting into a confrontation. And I got the president to agree that if any child came out, I call them children, right, with dads, any child came out and confronted us, they're going to be warned, you're going to get expelled. And that worked. The tents ran into the building, then we had the building, and that beautiful building inside destroyed.